This story revolves around the character Carl Allen, who is a bank loan officer by profession. If one talks about his private life, he is just alone. He is depressed as a result of his life and is divorced from his wife. Otherwise, he is antisocial and ignores his friends, preferring to keep himself away from others. Once Carl is shopping in the DVD shop, where a call is received by his friend who says, "We had a plan of dinner. You did not reply of the message." Carl makes an excuse that I am engaged in an important meeting. And I am working on an important document. But his friend says that don't dramatize the situation. I can see you in the DVD shop. Let's go, and don't make excuses. Carl was not willing to go, but he has to go for dinner with his friends, because of being caught. Here Carl also sees his former divorced wife. Actually, his wife is with her new partner. Carl shows resistance from facing reality. The reason behind it is the lack of confidence of Carl. He avoids everyone not meeting. He does not find any charm in his life. Next day, Carl Allen goes to his office. His senior boss asks him coming there that there was a promotion discussion in the office. Unfortunately, you missed the chance. Carl responds, "It is okay. It is going on particularly in my life." Because Carl is totally disappointed and depressed. And such happenings were a common part of his life. Some randomly people meet Carl in case of loan in the office. Their few documents are missed. Having a soft corner, loan could be allowed, but Carl forbids them. Carl says, "No. Your documents are missing." Otherwise, he does also not pick up the call of his relative voluntarily. Because he is not willing to talk with anyone. At lunchtime, Carl's old friend meets him saying that I am happy to see you as the officer of this bank till now. Then Carl asks, "What are you doing?" The friend replies, "I am on tour throughout the world because I am a yes man." Showing him a brochure, he says that this seminar is going to be conducted. You must visit there. He also says with it, "I know you are not satisfied with your life and job. Take this stone and break the bank's door glass." But Carl says, "No. I cannot do it." Because saying no had become very common in Carl's life. Then his friend asks him to ask the same question. Carl asks, "Do you want to break the door glass of the bank?" That friend says yes, while laughing. And he escapes, breaking the door glass. While running, he asks Carl to visit that seminar of a given brochure. Enjoy your life. Live your life. You only live once. If it is talked about Carl's life, the most used word in Carl's life is no. It means he says no in everything. So he rejected the loan, told a lie with his friends and many other things. He uses the word no. But Carl still thinks of his former wife. He tells his wife, "I am missing you." But his ex-wife tells, "I am going outside with my partner." And Carl says smiling, "You should go, it is your life." And the call is disconnected. Even we notice that he avoids the visit to the engagement ceremony of his close friend. His friend complains to him that nothing will be changed if you don't change yourself. And I will never be in contact with you. Getting angry from Carl, that friend leaves. Carl thinks there is no issue of visiting that seminar. And the reaches in that seminar. The name of this seminar is Yes Seminar. Here he also meets the same friend who had handed him over brochure before Carl's bank. Now we see the motivational speaker here who asks the name of the first visitor in this seminar. Carl's friend gesticulating Carl says, "He is my friend and the first visitor." Knowing this, a motivational speaker says to Carl, "Come on. Come on the stage." But Carl says, "No. No. Thank you. I am all right here." Motivational speaker says, "What did you say? No." No one says, "No" here. The audience begin to call Carl, "No man, no man, no man." Motivational speaker says, "If you are not coming to me, then I come to you." And he comes to Carl hurriedly while running. Seeing, he says to him that you are straight in your life. being alone, you have no friend and companion. Carl replies, my life is very tough. You don't know about the circumstance that I have faced. Motivational speaker takes his oath to say yes instead of no in every opportunity and matter of his life. Carl is unable to utter a word because he is pressurized here. And he says that I will say yes. And he says yes before everyone. Coming outside after seminar, Carl is requested by a man for car lift. He asks, can you drop him at a place? Carl is nearly to say no, but his same friend says coming there, yes, Carl will drop you there. He asks Carl to say yes. And Carl says yes in compulsion. While traveling, that man asks, have you a cell phone? May I use it? Cal also says to him, yes. And he starts a long conversation on call. After a time, his spot has come. He asks, have you a little amount of money? Carl is willing to say no. Keeping in view that seminal, Carl says, okay. I give you money. It means he says yes. And he also gives him all his money. Dropping that man, Carl leaves for his house. His car breaks down on the way. Neither he has money because he's giving money to that man, nor he has charged cell phone. Because that man was using his mobile for the long conversation, so the mobile battery is dead. Carl moves to the nearest gas station. And swiping his credit card, he is filling an empty can with petrol. So that he may move to his car with petrol for filling and leave for his house. While filling petrol, a girl arrives there and takes the photo of Carl sitting on a bike. And she says smiling, your car petrol may have run out. I can drop you to your car if you want. Carl says, yes. And he reaches near his car riding on her bike. Basically, this girl's name is Allison. She more discovers asking, are you alright? Carl murmurs that I am alright. I just need your companionship. He does not utter loudly. But Allison hears him and embracing him, she leaves. Carl is rejoiced observing it. Thinking, all this happened due to the uttered word of yes. Because, it would not have happened if I had not lifted that beggar. Nor did I meet this girl. Now Carl decides to say, yes in everything. He is still thinking all this, suddenly, a call is received by him. It is Saturday, which is a holiday. But his boss asks, can you visit the office? And Carl replies, yes. He comes into his office. A woman arriving there says, I run my business of cake making. And I need loan for my business expansion. Whereas, their bank does not loan on a small basis. But Carl has decided to say, yes on everything, keeping himself away from the word no. Hearing that lady, he accepts a request loaning her. Otherwise, he also goes to meet his friends. He tells them, I have brought change in my life. Now I say for everything, yes. And I am feeling a great difference. Taking the advantage of it, his friend calls the waitress in a fun mood. And he says, don't stop bringing food and drink here. Because, the bill will be paid by Carl. Will you pay bill, Carl? And Carl replies, yes. Here Carl drinks much, he sings and dances in intoxication. He never enjoyed his life as he is enjoying it this night. Next morning, her old-aged neighbor arrives at him asking, will you repair my house's shelf? Repairing the shelf of old lady's house, she begins to harass Carl physically. Carl says, no, not such a thing will be between us. And Carl runs outside. Coming outside, he is toppled down the stairs and little injured. And a coming dog is nearly to bite him. Carl thinks everything was going well when I was saying yes. And now I said no, as a result I was going to have a bone fracture. And a dog was on the verge of biting me. He plans to say yes to everything. Now Carl is a changed person with a changing life. He says no for nothing. As he learns the Korean language, learns to play guitar and also flies aircraft. Otherwise, Carl had not good relations with his boss, but now developed positively. Carl as a loan officer loan to the coming loaners. It does not matter how much loan is that, small or big. He does not say no to anyone. Everyone is happy with Carl's services. This is the cause many people take loan from Carl visiting there. One day, going to his house, he meets a man on the way who used to stand there regularly. Carl always used to say him no. That man said that I have a bar. You must visit there. You will like it. Carl used to say no, but now seeing his brochure, Carl says, I will surely come to your bar. You are working great. Carl goes to that bar at night and also finds Allison there. She is the same girl who had lifted him, showing love. Basically, Allison is the singer in this bar. After showing her performance, she sits coming to Carl. She asks, Are you chasing me? Carl replies, I cannot do as such. Then both go for a walk together. She tells while walking on the way, I sing in this bar, taking it as a part-time job. Otherwise, I am also the photography class teacher at the daytime. It will be my pleasure if you visit there at any time. Carl says to her, Yes. I will surely come. Carl receives a call of his friend at night time. He invites him for a party. It is late night, but saying yes, Carl goes to that party. Going there, he profligates and enjoys, and he also visits his friend Allison's photography's class in the coming morning. Meeting her there, he is be a part of her practices, goes for a trip, and also becomes a photographer with them. Carl's life has totally changed. And the reason for these changes is the use of using a word, yes. Now smile becomes the part of Carl's life. Allison likes the same thing as his nature, smiling and jovial attitude. And they become good friends because of these things. Next night, Carl and Allison go for a bike ride, enjoying too much. But Carl is driving bike at this time. Then they move to a big stadium. They both spend much of their time here. They start liking each other. Next day, we notice a queue of loaners. Carl's senior officer says, coming there, come into the office, there is an urgent meeting. Carl thinks his job is now at risk. But the senior officer says to him, Bravo. As he goes there, he tells that our bank never allowed the small loan ever before. But your act increased the numbering of customers. Consequently, our bank is getting profit. And all these loaners pay their loans on time. It is beneficial for our bank. Otherwise, Carl is promoted by the senior officer with the increment of salary. Carl is pleased. Carl's personality has absorbed much positivity. So going anywhere, he cheers everyone. Once, we notice a suicider outside the window, but Carl sings a motivational song after going near him. Listening this song, that man does not commit suicide. In this way, he also rescues the life of that person. Carl and Allison plans for a recreational trip. Carl's ex-wife reaches there when they are at the airport for this cause. She says that we watched you on TV when you were saving that man's life. You did a great job. Carl replies, it was an ordinary. Seeing it, Carl's ex-wife surprises, thinking about the changing in Carl's life. How is he smiling much? How is he turned into a positive and jolly one? She asks him, why are you here? He says, I am waiting for my friend. She asks, where are you going? He replies, it is undecided. After her arrival, we will decide our destination. Allison also comes there. After that, both move to the ticket counter. They say to the ticket officer that we need the ticket for the first flight, no matter where it is flying. And the first flight is to Nebraska. Both take the flight to Nebraska, where they start photography while enjoying. Allison is much impressed by Carl's positivity, humorous nature and way of talking. And her liking grows more than past. She says to Carl, why should we not purchase a house and shift there, returning back? Hearing it, Carl feels pleasure because his life is also lonesome. He lives alone, so consents. They are taking tickets for returning back to America. Meanwhile, 2 custom officers arrive there saying there is a query for you. Taking them to a cell, Carl is asked, have you any grudge for America? Carl says, no, it is not true. Otherwise, custom officers reveal their suspicion over him. They say, you recently learned how to fly an aircraft. You learned the Korean language and loaned, perhaps for bomb making, to a fertilizer company. Carl says, there is nothing like this. Officers say, your marriage did not continue more than 6 months, why? These questions were according to their investigation. But Allison suspects at the question of marriage. Because Allison did not know that Carl was married and later divorced. Carl had never mentioned it. Actually, custom officers are taking Carl as a terrorist. Because flying a plane and learning a language usually is not done by an ordinary person, especially who has never participated in any activity. But Carl tells them, I was doing it in order to say yes. And my life is facing change. Otherwise, he says, I want to talk with my lawyer. Meanwhile, his friend lawyer tells coming there about that seminar. That my friend says yes on everything because of that seminar. As a result, his life has a positive outlook. So he did all these. Then Allison thinks that every spoken word yes for her is only due to that seminar. And he actually does not want to say yes. But he said yes for me reluctantly. This was the cause of his recreational trip with her. And he also said yes for living with her. She believes that Carl has been telling a lie with her till now. Getting angry, she leaves. And Allison's parting makes him depressed once more. He misses her every time he even calls, but she does not pick up the phone. He tries to meet her in the bar, but she cannot. Carl is left alone once more. One day, Carl's ex-wife says her through a call, come to meet me. There is something special to say. When Carl goes to his ex-wife, she says that there is a break-up with my partner. And I do not want to go back to her. I have started to like you again. I want to lead a life with you once again. But Carl refuses her because he is in love with Allison somehow. He leaves from there. He has said no to his wife. While hallucinating, he thinks that bad happening has started to occur in his life. And it will continue. He goes to the same motivational speaker in depression who had inspired him to say yes. Carl hides himself at the back seat of a motivational speaker's car that he cannot guess. While driving, Carl appears from the back seat of the car before him and says, "Don't be afraid. I am Carl." But the motivational speaker loses control of the car and it is crashed with another car in fear. It means accident is occurred. And both are hospitalized due to this accident. Coming into the conscious, Carl says to motivational speaker that you will have to change the rule of saying yes on everything. Motivational speaker says that there is not a such rule. I had said it to you because you were not willing to listen to me. It is not necessary to say yes on everything. You must say yes at that time when your heart consents. Hearing it, Carl says that I have got the point now. Then he asks the time from his friend. And this time is Allison's photography class. And Carl immediately reaches Allison in the same appearance from the hospital. Meeting Allison, he says, "My said word yes for you till today was always from the core of my heart. I always spoke truth with you except one thing. When you had asked to live in Nebraska together, I had said yes without thinking. Because I had confused at that time to an extent. These are the great decisions of life, which need deliberation on our part. I had told a lie saying yes. But the rest of the words yes were based on truth." Allison says, "How will I know which yes is based on truth and which yes is based on lies?" Changing the topic, Carl says that if I don't start saying yes, how could I meet you? And if I don't say it and just meet you in any case, you would not have liked me as I was before. Even no one used to like me. You enjoy your life and do what you want. But it is also true, I have many affectionate feelings for you. I will make your life happy." Allison, too, smiles, trusting Carl. She is damn sure that Carl is saying yes in reality. He has started loving her. Both embrace each other and the movie reaches on its happy ending.